Hunters were the original conservationists, but for several decades, the hunting population has been getting older and smaller. Most youngsters today don't grow up in a rural environment, and even among those that do, hunting competes with everything from year-round sports to video games. Thanks to Vermont's special Youth Deer Hunting Weekend, however, there's a whole new generation of hunter conservationists entering the woods.
Dad, look, it's a deer.
On Youth Weekend, simply seeing a deer is exciting, even a small doe. But what makes this season special is not the size of the deer young hunters might encounter. It's the opportunity to spend quality time with an adult mentor the weekend before the regular season opens. It's all about instilling a lifelong love of hunting and the outdoors.
The whole impetus to get a youth hunting season for kids here in Vermont was the future of hunting. We need to have more people participating in hunting.
Since 1997, when Vermont became the first state in the Northeast to hold a youth deer season, more than 40,000 boys and girls have taken part in the two-day hunt. It's open to all licensed youngsters age 15 and under who have completed a hunter education course and are accompanied by a licensed adult. Any deer of either sex is legal game, and judging by the many smiles youth season has generated, it's been a great success.
It's the ideal educational model that we want to have for kids doing any outdoor activity. They go to class, they have to take their hunter safety course, they get tested in Vermont. Then all of a sudden, they get to go out with a mentor, with an adult, and most of the time it's a family member.
A study found that an overwhelming majority of adult hunters support youth season, even if they think it causes a decrease in subsequent deer harvests. That's because in addition to teaching safe and ethical hunting practices, youth season is helping preserve our hunting heritage.
I'll tell you, the study showed us results that we couldn't be happier with. Vermonters love the current experience that we have with the youth season.
That includes me. I took my first youth hunter out well before all of my 3 children were even born, and I loved it. I was every bit as excited as Frank, the son of some non-hunting friends, when he shot his first deer in 1998. And since 2005, I've had the added pleasure of taking my own kids out. Fortunately, I still have a few more youth seasons with my youngest son, Jake. Time spent with my kids in the woods is more meaningful to all of us than any other time we spend together.
I like just being able to sit there for multiple hours and just talking about whatever you want to with your dad or whoever's taking you out, and it's a great chance to bond with your dad or whoever's taking you out, if it's grandfather, an uncle, or a mother, or whoever wants to take you out and can take you out. It's just a great chance to bond with them.
What's so different is when I was a kid growing up in Vermont, my dad took me hunting. It's different now. The kid's taking us hunting as a mentor, as an adult. Our full attention is on the kid. We're not carrying a gun. The whole focus is there. And anyone who gets to have that opportunity, I'll tell you, it's the greatest excitement you'll ever have. If you're a parent and you live in the state of Vermont, you'll never forget. You wait for that first day that your child talks or walks. If you grow up as a deer hunter in the state of Vermont, you can't wait for the first day you can actually take your child out in the woods, put your arms around him, give him a hug at the end of the day when you have a great time. You don't have to shoot a deer. But what's so neat about this is it's all about the kids.
The 2012 youth season began on a cold, frosty morning in November. Jake and I made the long walk into our hunting area well before dawn.
What I like about youth deer season is the quietness of it. When you get there before it gets light out, I think it's pretty cool to see how the squirrels react in the morning, or see the porcupine just walking across the field like nobody's there.
When hunting with a youngster, I like using a small blind. It makes it easier to stay still and hidden, and it gives us plenty of time to talk quietly about school, sports, and of course, deer hunting. But the wind is perfect. We've got the southwest wind, so it's blowing our scent away from where we want to see deer or where we expect to see deer.
Why does that matter?
Deer rely on 3 senses to detect predators. They have very good vision, but not supervision. They have excellent hearing, but best of all is their nose. If you're really still, a deer won't see you. If you're really quiet, a deer won't hear you. But if you're still and quiet and a deer can smell you, that deer's gone. Right, so it's the nose that you really want to pay attention to. Because there were almost no acorns or other natural foods in the woods in 2012, we set up at the edge of a small remote field. One thing that makes youth season unique is permission is required to hunt on even unposted private property.
What a great experience to have a young kid go up and ask a landowner. My greatest memory of taking my kids youth turkey hunting is walking in a barn and making my daughter speak up to the farmer, says, speak up loudly so he can hear you, and ask him about turkey hunting. The impression I'll never forget is the look on that farmer's face when he sees that little girl asking permission to go hunting. Priceless.
That girl is named Jessie, and she got her start as a hunter during the 2010 youth season when she bagged her first deer at age 11. Mark taught her well, which is my goal with my children. What I look for, Jake, is the white on a deer. You don't often see the whole deer in the woods. You'll see the white on the throat, the white on the tail, sometimes the white on the inside of the ear. So anything that looks a little out of place, especially if it's white, really try to focus on that. One of the biggest hurdles for most youngsters is the early wake-up that comes with morning hunts, especially for a 13-year-old who plays team sports in the afternoon. Because it's Jake's hunt, however, I let him take a cat nap if he wants.
Well, me being a teenage boy, waking up at 4 or 5 isn't the greatest thing since I want to sleep in. So when we're in the woods at 6 in the morning and it's pitch dark and it's really quiet, sometimes I happen to doze off and sleep. But I know my dad will keep a close watch on and he'll wake me up if anything does happen.
Want some hot cocoa?
Yes, please.
This is Mom's good hot cocoa.
On this hunt, I woke up and I remember just taking a quick look around, and on my second glance to a part of the woods, I just saw this dark shadow moving in the woods. Dad, there's a deer,
Deer? Oh, okay. I think it's a buck, Jake.
Really?
Or your binoculars. It looks like either a big spike horn or a little fork horn. Or a 3-pointer.
Really?
I think it's definitely not a spike. It's a young buck.
When my dad confirmed with me that it was a buck, I got really excited because I had spotted it first, and I knew that there was a good chance it would get hungry and want to walk out to the field and eat some grass or whatever. So I knew that there might be a chance that I could get a shot, and that was pretty exciting.
It wants to get to the top of that little ravine. It's going to come out somewhere over here. If it comes out, it's going to be over here somewhere.
The deer walked parallel to the field, and then finally it disappeared into the brush, and I was just, where'd it go? What happened? Did it go away? Did it run away? And my dad said, no, it might come out of this little gully, so get your gun ready. I thought the deer just had gone away, but I was like, all right, I'll get my gun ready. So I had my gun all ready to shoot, and then eventually he did come out of the hole where my dad said he would.
Okay, there he is. Do you see him?
Yeah. Should I flick off my safety?
Take your safety off, but don't shoot. With the adrenaline rush that comes with spotting a buck, holding a rifle steady isn't easy. But Jake was confident, as was I, because we had spent many hours practicing over several days. Let him turn broadside. Okay, that looks good. As soon as he stops, right behind the front shoulder, low in the chest. Anytime.
Did I get him?
You got him. Good shot, son. That was an excellent shot. He's down. He went nowhere. Excellent shot. Good job.
It was just a moment of complete happy and excitement. We turned and hugged each other. We knuckle bumped. We high-fived. And it was just really happy. I could see on his face that he's really proud of me that I got a deer. It was just really cool to see his excitement for me.
And you know, that's the first time we've been hunting together where you've seen the deer first. Did you caught me napping? Now you have to come hunt with me so you can spot the deer for me.
All right, Dad.
Good job, buddy. Good job. All right. Let's go see him.
All right.
I'm going to give you your gun. Safety is back on.
The safety record is phenomenal. And when you have these special youth hunts where they're mentored, there are no accidents. The kids are heavily supervised. They've just gone through a hunter education course. It is, without a doubt, the safest outdoor activity that we could have our kids involved with.
A special tag issued to each youth hunter must be attached to the deer before transporting it. I also enjoy taking some photos and reliving the hunt before dressing the deer and taking it to the check station. What do you have for a buck?
I have a 3, maybe 2-point yearling.
The hunt itself is most memorable, but for a lot of kids, reliving it with friends and community members is pretty special as well.
It's my first buck and my first deer in Vermont, so.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
When you go to check it in, it's all about you. There's a biologist there to talk to you about the deer. You get your photo taken. You get to maybe help weigh it. They ask you, how was the hunt? Or what the story behind the deer was, because there's always a story, which is great to share with other people.
Where'd you hit the deer that brought him down? Oh, in the neck. Was it exciting? Were you excited?
Check stations always brim with smiling faces, but they also serve an important role. Since 2008, the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department has operated biological check stations during youth season to gather data about deer health. Because youngsters can take any deer, including spikehorn bucks, it provides a great snapshot of the overall herd.
Let's not forget, when we talk about getting kids hunting, the future of hunting, without hunters, we can't manage wildlife populations, especially when it comes to deer. It's all about keeping a balanced number on the land. And I think if we had to turn back time and kind of managing deer in the state of Vermont, we've been doing this 50 years ago, because right now the data that we collect from our kids is probably the best biological data that we could collect. We're getting some young deer shot by some young hunters out there. We're getting some older, we're getting some does, we're getting some bucks. And from a biological perspective, that's our laboratory. We need to examine these deer, look at their health, the size of them, how well they're doing the age structure. And there's not much bias involved with that. And that's the best data that we could be collecting for deer management in the state of Vermont.
Bagging a deer is great, but the study found that even kids who did not shoot a deer enjoyed youth season and are likely to continue hunting. These young hunters are Vermont's future license buyers and wildlife conservationists.
During youth weekend, I've learned how to tell whether it's a doe or a buck, tell whether it's a legal buck. I've learned a lot about how to be a deer hunter and how to navigate the woods. And I look forward to the opportunity where I can go to camp with my dad and all his friends, and I can bring back a deer, and I can tell the story by myself saying, I got this with nobody's help. And I think that'd be a pretty special moment.
Special moments during Youth Weekend are now being captured and shared on Fish and Wildlife's website and Facebook page.
Show me a hunter who doesn't want to show the pictures of their hunt. Another way to celebrate the whole idea of hunting. And what's really neat about this, we're celebrating it with the kids.
It will be delicious.
It'll be a tender, nice buck, it will be.
My family, since my brother, my sister, my father, and I were all hunters, there's a lot of venison or other game on our table. And when it's my deer, I always take extra pride in it because I provided it for the family, I shot it, it was mine, and I just love that because it makes me feel like the king of the house.